We're going to start with a couple YouTube comments. So let's see. Nickel Plated Prod says, I'm a contractor and I've owned a remodeling business for the last 8 years. And the past 3 or 4 years, we've done really well. And he noticed that it's coming from word of mouth. He said, I have a page on Google and a Facebook page, and I don't have a website. Somehow we've stayed busy these last few years through word of mouth, but it's slowing down now. And he's looking into advertising and other options. That's pretty common thing that I hear a lot these days is because we just came out of like the COVID years and everything construction and housing got super busy during COVID. There was zero interest rates, so everyone's buying houses, refinancing their or like remortgaging their house, coming up with a ton of money. They're all staying at home, so that there was a lot of remodels going on, and things got really nice for a lot of construction companies, and it made it seem really easy. What do they say? Like everyone feels like they're a genius in a bull market, and that's kind of how it was. Like everyone was like, "Oh wow, everything I'm doing is working. This is great." But in the last, I think 12 to 18 months, we've started to come back down to normal where like the people I know who've been in business a long time, they're saying like, "Yep, things are going like we're having a normal slow summer now. Things are going back to normal." And so it's just becoming more competitive, and if you're not doing things right, then it's going to show now. So that's a pretty common thing, and definitely like getting a website built, getting reviews on Google, that will help you compete. And at the end of the day, you'll have to do whatever marketing techniques or strategies that you need to in order to get the volume you need. There's a lot of my clients and people I know who get all the volume they need just from being on Google Maps, having reviews, having a website. Other ones need to add on advertising on top of that. And you should, the whole time, always be trying to spur on more word of mouth, keeping in touch with past clients, getting repeat business that way, asking for referrals on a regular basis, of course, getting those reviews every opportunity you can. Just do all those things on a consistent basis, and you'll probably be okay. But at the end of the day, it's a competition between you and the other companies in your area. You're for a finite supply of customers. So now that the COVID frenzy is over, the amount of customers is less and less, and so you're going to have to work a little bit harder to get them. So that's that. What other comments you
hmm
got, Roman? Looks like it's about 6 o'clock, so this is
There
the
was a
this.
there was a funny one, another one about door knocking. Everyone seems to think that it's like this, like you're risking your life to go door knocking and all this stuff. And people have said, "Oh, I live in Atlanta. You'd never want to try that here." And I don't know, maybe that's true for some neighborhoods, but I don't know. This guy said, "Risking your life in today's crime neighborhood. Uh, Watch individuals armed with guns and cops on their back, especially when no soliciting is prominently just." It's just a big run-on sentence, but
Yeah.
basically just saying that
Well, there's definitely a
it's
lot of
too risky.
neighborhoods. There's probably a lot of neighborhoods I wouldn't go knock in. We were knocking in Spokane, Washington last year, and we're going to be doing it again soon. And there were definitely some neighborhoods that were a little sketch and folks
Yeah.
easy in. Those particular houses were on our list to knock, but if you're going, there's two types of door knocking. There's one where you're targeted, you know which houses you're going to, you're probably driving in between, you're like seeking out these homes. And then there's like door to door, which is you're just like canvassing a whole neighborhood. And so if
Yeah.
you're going door to door, you should probably pick nicer neighborhoods if you can.
Yeah,
you
totally.
know and
Yeah, the houses we were looking for, they weren't always in the primest neighborhoods, but that was on purpose. Those were the deals.
yeah.
But imagine if you're doing remodeling, or yeah, I don't know, but yeah, you'd
Yeah,
probably
like
want to go after places where they're owning their home, where they've
mhm.
got the disposable income. You're not
Yeah, you'll be
knocking in the
strategic about it.
yeah.
And I talk to people sometimes who are like starting a new business in a market that is either a rough market or it's super super competitive, like the middle of the Bay Area, California. LA is like one of the most competitive areas. And I always
hmm
ask people like, how committed are you to living in this area? Because if you're trying to start a business from scratch, there's like two-thirds of the United States that it's really, really easy to start a business and market it and get a ton of customers because there's really low competition. You're not going to live in a major city, most likely. Um, but if you're really dead set on starting a business and you're open to moving, then there's a lot of places that you could go where you could start a business and in 1 year be where it would, in the same place it would take you 10 years to get to in a competitive market. So,
Yep.
if you don't like your neighborhood, if it's not worth door knocking, maybe seek out better neighborhoods.
Yeah. And
If you can't,
that's just a trend in general, as people are kind of, there was a big trend towards the cities. And I feel like since 2020, it's been opposite. People like want to all live on homesteads now and, live in like rural Tennessee and all this stuff. But yeah,
yeah,
it's super true. You can take over like any town or city is it a town under 100K population? Super easy to take over. Here in Chico, for example, someone posted on one of the local Facebook groups, and it said, "I detail cars, and I am available." And that was basically the whole post. And there were no pictures, like no phone number, no website, nothing, no social proof. And I saw that post, and I was like, is this guy like joking? Like, he really thinks he's going to get business from this? I've lived my whole life in major cities, so this was I was like, this guy isn't going to get any business from this. He had like probably 40 or 50 comments of like, when are you available? What's your number? How do I get a hold of you? We've been looking for a detailer. I was like, dang, he's going to
yeah,
clean up.
like his own Facebook page or whatever, or a
It was
group.
in like one of the local community groups.
Okay. Well, that's a great tip for someone who's hard up for work. Like
Totally.
make posts, community groups, your own Facebook. The very first step of any kind of marketing is awareness. Like if people aren't aware of who you are and what you do, then there's no way that they could ever hire you. So it can be as simple as just letting people know what you do. And for that guy, apparently it was working.
Yeah. And what's funny too is I bet that there are 4 or 5 other detailers in town who are complaining that they can't find enough business.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
What other comments we got? We got any other questions?
Oh, door knocking guy, by the way, at the end, he did say, stay safe.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely stay safe.
Yeah.
James is saying that they've been running Facebook awareness campaigns and they've been getting a lot of views. Have you gotten any jobs from it? You guys, if you have any questions or you want me to take a look at your stuff, go ahead and post it in the chat section and I'll take a look live right now.
Yeah, so this is similar to that comment you just read, but I saw on Reddit in the general contractor subreddit a couple weeks ago, it was like a really similar post. It was like, business is 5 years old, always had steady clients, never had trouble finding jobs. Randomly, these last couple months, nobody's reaching out.
Yeah, I hear that all the time. I've been hearing it for more than 5 years. The best time to market your business is when things are good because then they stay good. Most things take time, and it's not just like, oh, ads take time to work, or marketers will tell you, oh, SEO takes time to work, but like it takes any person or company time to figure out how to make things work for them. Like if Google ads didn't work, then they wouldn't be selling billions and trillions of dollars worth of ads, but they are because it works. And the people that it works for have spent enough time figuring out how to make it work for them. So I hear a lot of people saying like, oh, Google ads doesn't work. We tried it. We put $500 in and got nothing. But like there's an education piece, like there's a learning curve. You got to figure out how to make it work.
Totally. Yeah, this guy also said there's a local Facebook group that people were using to find contractors, but it seems like the only people posting now are just the contractors looking for work. I'm not sure what's going on, but it seems like all the clients just disappeared. He also said,
like we aggregate, or like we have like a stream of all the leads that come from our clients' websites so we can monitor them. And there was definitely like 12 to 18 months ago, like we started seeing this trend of contractors hitting each other up more and more. That kind of died down a little bit. Maybe it's because it's summer now and it's the busy season, but it definitely, like, it was super noticeable. And it happens a lot through ads too, which makes ads less profitable.
True. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I guess what would you suggest for people finding themselves in those shoes today?
Subscribe to my channel and watch my videos, because that's like all I talk about.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, door to door is like a hot topic. I was talking to this guy earlier who he wants to start a company in a pretty competitive area. And when we looked on Google, the competitors had like 1,000 reviews and tons of people were running ads for it. And so for him as a brand new company to go in and try to start running ads, like he's going head to head with companies with 1,000 reviews or more, and who have been figuring out how to make the ads work for them for a long time. And so he would have been at a huge disadvantage. And, he needs a certain amount of volume to meet his goals. And we used like Google Ads Keyword Planner to get an idea of how much volume there was for search anyway. And there was 70 people a month in that area searching for it. And he needs like 30 customers a month. So there's no way that Google Ads would ever get him close. Like with 70 searches, he would be lucky to get a couple customers from Google Ads because there's so much competition. So the only real solution for him is going door to door. And I recommend that for anyone who's in a brand new business, especially if you're in the idea phase. And this guy is in the idea phase. He's not sure if he wants to do it. And so my biggest, my piece of advice for him with the most conviction is go have 100 conversations, go knock however many doors it takes to talk to 100 people and practice, giving your pitch and see if anybody is even interested. Because if you go talk to 100 people face to face and you can't sell any of them whatever you're selling, then there's no marketing or website or leads that are ever going to work for you. Because if you can't sell it face to face, you can't sell it any other way. And I give that advice a lot. And a lot of people don't want to do it. They're like, I don't want to go door to door. I don't want to go talk to people. I'd rather just, put my credit card in Google Ads and do that. But you're virtually guaranteed to waste a bunch of money doing it. And if you're not having these conversations, you're not going to get any better at selling or presenting whatever it is you have. And also, when you talk to your potential customers, you end up finding out a lot of opportunities that you didn't even know existed. And you'll never be able to come up with these things on your own. You got to talk to people, find out what they want, and then give them what they want. That's how you make money in any business, especially like a new one. So yeah, we ended up, figuring that door to door is the best way. And with that idea in mind, we came up with all sorts of angles and offers that seem like they would do really well. And again, you can't know for sure until you test them. But like, hey, I'll give you a free inspection and clean this thing for free as long as you give me a good Google review. That's a pretty good offer. And if you can go out and get a couple of those a day and get a couple Google reviews a day, have a couple conversations, those leads would cost you at least $100 on Google Ads. So if you're getting 3 a day, that's worth $300. That's pretty good when you're at the beginning of a business and you don't have a ton of resources, but you have time. So
Yep. Yeah. I mean, door knocking is beautiful because you can inject yourself into someone's buying process before they're even shopping for something. Like, you know how many people think about doing that renovation for like 12 months before they call anybody about it? That's a pretty big window for you to show up, knock their door, um, you know, introduce yourself, say, hi, I'm new to the neighborhood or whatever it is. Here's what I do. And then they go, oh, I've been thinking about getting my kitchen redone. That's so funny that you showed up. As if it's like this serendipitous thing, but they've been thinking about it for like 8 months.
Yeah, they really are. And the time for them to act on that will be a short window. So if you're hitting enough houses or enough people, eventually you'll find some that are in the right spot and they'll say stuff like that. They'll be like, "Oh wow, so cool that you showed up because I just convinced my husband to remodel our kitchen."
Yeah.
All right, so we've got Mike's moving and Bozeman wants me to take a look at his stuff. So I'm going to share my screen and take a look. If anybody else wants me to check out your stuff on right here and give you some feedback, post it up in the chat.
Right on, right on.
Let's see.
Yeah, and if you make a friend on the door like that, then they're not even going to shop around.
Oh, yeah.